Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be telling you guys my story with the Depo-Provera birth control shot. So, when I was in high school, I did the pill, not even for birth control. I just did it to, I don't remember why I did it. I think I was trying to do it to help with acne. I don't know. I think that's why. Because when I got on it, I wasn't even having sex. So anyways, I was on the pill. And another reason, actually, I think I took it to try and not have my period as well. So I would, normally you can take the pill and then you take the placebos and you get your period. But you can skip the placebos to not get your period. So I did that. So I was already for years not having a period because of that. Off and on, I would have a period, but it was never regular or anything. So then I went off of it for a while, and still same thing. I had my period off and on, but never like consistently every month. And so then once Rocky and I got together, I needed to get on something. So I went into my doctor. I had done some research on different things, and I knew I didn't want the thing that goes in your arm, and I didn't want to be on the pill because at the time I just felt like I wasn't going to remember to take it every day. And I heard that if you forget to take it, like, I mean, obviously if you miss one day, but I heard that if you don't even take it at the same time every day, that it didn't work. So I didn't really want to be on the pill, which now I think the pill would work good for me because I already take my like vitamins and stuff at a certain time every day. So I went into him, and after my research, I decided I wanted to get the IUD. So I told my doctor I wanted the IUD, and he told me he didn't want to give me the IUD, that he absolutely did not recommend it if I hadn't given birth already. He said if I really wanted to, he would do it, but he just thinks it would be way more painful for me without giving birth. So that kind of scared me out of it, which I know some girls who have gotten it without already having a baby and they seem to be fine. But for whatever reason, he was very serious about it. He didn't want me to get it, so that kind of scared me out of it. So then he asked me if I had ever heard of Depo-Provera. And I hadn't. I didn't do any research on it really before I got on it. I just listened to what he had said. And he said, he told me it's a shot you get. People say it's in your butt. It's really right at the bottom of your back. I mean, all you kind of have to do is lift your shirt up, depending on who's giving it to you. Some people give it a little further down. And you get it every 3 months. He said it does, just like with any birth control, it can make your weight fluctuate, but honestly, my weight has always fluctuated, and I'm already a bigger girl, so I don't know, I really didn't care that much at that point. So anyways, I decided to do that. So I was on Depo-Provera for, I think, about 2 years. And I think in that whole time, I maybe had my period a couple times in that whole time frame. So then I'm on Depo-Provera like 2 years, and I am on like a women's Facebook group where just like girls chat, like share different things, whatever. And I happened to see somebody post and say, hey, I just got off Depo-Provera, trying to have a baby. how long did it take you guys to get pregnant after getting off of that injection? And there was a variance of answers. Some people said they had no trouble and they got pregnant right away. And some people were saying it was taking them up to 7 years to get pregnant. And I would say the majority of comments were that it took a while to get their period back and that it took a while to get pregnant. I mean, at least a few years. Some people even longer than a few years. And a very small portion of the comments were people that got pregnant right away. So this led me, I was very concerned. I mean, I don't want to have a baby right now. I do, but I know I need to wait. But I know that in a few years, definitely, and I don't want to be on that and then have to wait and, you know, get off of it when I'm ready, and then when I'm ready, even have to wait a few years. So I immediately got off of it. I mean, it stays in your system for 3 months. So I wasn't even due for another one, but when I found this out, but I was like, I'm not going to go back and get another one. So then during this time, I think a good few, I think maybe 6 to 8 months after I had found this out, I had to have an OB appointment anyways. So I talked to my OB about it, and this is my first time going to an OB. So I just kind of tell her like my history and let her know that I was on that and my concerns. And she looked up on the doctor forum, you know, the same kind of thing of like how long it takes. And she told me it could take, that the general average for getting your period back after the Depo-Provera shot was 18 months. So she was concerned that I, in years and years at this point, had never had a consistent period. Because obviously, like I told her, like, yeah, I do plan on having babies in a few years. You know, like I want to make sure my body is prepared for that and like can do that. So, you know, was raising my concerns, and she was a little concerned that I had never had like a consistent period or a period in that long of a time. So we did a game plan that I'm not gonna get on any birth control. I was not aware. So just to like share with you guys, because I didn't know, like I kind of was like, okay, you can't get pregnant if you're not having a period, was my thought. But I wanted to confirm that. So I asked her, and she told me, you cannot get pregnant if you're not having a period. However, I will not know when my period's going to come, right? So if I finally ever do get a period, I will not know when it's going to come. So if the timing happened to line up perfectly, because you can be ovulating before your period, then I could technically get pregnant in that time frame and not know that my period was going to come, and it could happen that way. So she said, technically it can happen. She was like, it would have to be the perfect timing and the perfect window, and it would be a very small chance. So there's that. But she also told me that she didn't want me to get on the pill or any other kind of birth control because of the hormones in the pill could cause a hormonal period, which is not a real period. It's not my body sending itself into a period. It's the hormones from the pill creating me to have hormonal bleeding, not a period. So she said, just because it's been so long, I don't want you to get on this and think you're having a period and think that you're like regular and not having that issue anymore, when really it's just the hormones causing you to bleed. So we left with the game plan that 18 months, I was going to give it 18 months, not take any birth control, and see if I got my period back. And otherwise, she wanted me after the 18 months to come in and do blood work, see if there's any other reasons of why my body would do that, if I would be able to get pregnant at this point, la-di-da. So now we are at the, I would say 16-month mark since I got off of Depo, and I have had, so last month was my first time I got anything back. It was very light spotting, not enough to wear anything, and it maybe lasted a couple days, but I was so excited. I've never been so excited to have any sort of bleeding, right? So I'm like so happy, but at the same time I was like, well, it's not a real, I mean, you know, it wasn't heavy, it was only a couple of days, so I was like, you know, but I was happy because it was something. And then I actually got an app called Thermometer, and if you are actively trying to get pregnant, you can buy separately the thermometer to track your temperatures, and it'll connect with that app. Otherwise, it's just an app you can use to track it. You can track when you're intimate, you can track when you have your period, if it's heavy, light, spotting, whatever, and then it calculates the days that you're ovulating in your fertile day. Anyways, I just used it to track my period so I could just kind of keep track of the day since I'm like looking at it. And so exactly a month later, this month, I got a actual real like 6 days normal flow period back. So I'm hoping that continues. It's only like 2 months now, and this was like my first real one, but I wasn't aware of this when I got on Depo, and I should have done more research, but you know, I'm a young girl and I listened to my doctor, and I mean, he's probably not, even if he knew, which who knows if he even knew, but he's not thinking like, oh, he might not be thinking of when I want to have a baby or that kind of thing. But I do think it is something everyone should be aware of if you're getting on that it's not just something you can say, oh, I'm ready to have a baby now and start a family and get off of it and you're good. Like, and I don't even know, even though I have a period, I mean, it took 18 months for people to get their period back, still weren't able to conceive for 7 years. So I don't know that part of it because we're not trying to have a baby right now, but I mean, who knows? I still am worried, but that's why I was like, I immediately want to get off of this and be able to have all the time to prepare, you know, to let my body have that time if it needs it before we're ready to actually start trying to have a baby. So I pray to God that we don't have any issues, but you know, we'll see when that time comes. But I wanted to just kind of share my experience and put that out there for anyone considering that. And honestly, I think the Depo was great if I was not worried about fertility or having kids. I mean, later, once I'm done having kids and I know for sure I am done, maybe I would get back on Depo because it worked great. It was super easy. It lasted 3 months. So besides this aspect of it, I think it was a great option. But this, for my personal life, that's not worth the risk for me, even though I already did it. But if I could go back knowing this, I would not do Depo, and I would choose a different one, because for me, that risk of having issues with fertility is not worth that at all. So I just wanted to share my story and let you guys know. Thanks for listening. I know it was a little TMI. Sorry, Dad, if you're watching this. I'm sure he's already clicked off by now. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Come back next week for more. Bye.